Hello and welcome to another episode of the Leverage Podcast. I am your host, John Davidson, and today we're talking real estate specifically in Delaware. I have team leader Peggy Centrella joining me, and she has an incredible story of her journey, multi-generations, being in real estate from her mother, herself, and now her daughter as well. We're excited to learn all about it. Peggy, thank you for joining me today on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Well, to start out, tell us what makes Northern Delaware a great place to buy a home.
It's a great location. We are perfectly situated, commuting distance to Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., New York City. So with remote working and virtual workplace, you can move to Delaware. If you have to be in the office maybe a couple of times a month, you can take a train and get there pretty easily. So we're getting a lot of people coming from other areas surrounding Delaware due to our location. So it's easy to get to all of those major cities. And then we're only about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from the coast, the New Jersey shore, and also the Delaware beaches. So that's also a positive.
Fantastic. And so for our listeners who are not specifically in Delaware but might be close, Pennsylvania, you help folks find a home in those areas as well, right? Share a little bit about what is the full area where you are helping buyers and sellers.
I focus mainly in northern Delaware, and then I have clients who, because sometimes when you're driving, you don't even realize you're in Pennsylvania. So they may prefer a house in a different community, and it happens to be in Pennsylvania or right over the line. We call it jumping the line. So I usually have clients that start in Delaware. They may end up in Pennsylvania or vice versa. From a property tax perspective, Delaware has one of the lowest property taxes. So we tend to get people to want to stay more in Delaware for that reason. And that is what drives a lot of buyers down to Delaware from New Jersey, New York, because their taxes tend to be a lot higher.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, like I said in the intro, you've had real estate in your family for a long time. Take me through, what was your first interaction with the real estate industry?
Well, my mother was a real estate agent in the 80s, late 80s, and into the 1990s. So when I graduated college, I wanted to get into real estate. And then my mom said, just hold off. It wasn't a career you did as a younger person back then. It seemed to be a lot of older second career kind of job for a lot of people.
Right.
So I went into sales, and I had a very successful career in sales. And then I decided to do real estate as a later career, not expecting it to take off the way it did, but it did. So I was familiar with it. My husband is also a mortgage lender, so I kind of knew the business from that perspective as well.
Yeah, and so you stepped into real estate and you've had success. And as we have younger people now looking to buy homes who are
Mm-hmm.
interacting more and more through social media, from what I understand, your daughter is now following in the footsteps and has joined you in the business. Share a little bit about how your daughter has helped to impact your business in a positive way.
So my daughter is a social media content creator. So she kind of took off with her social media in college and built a following of over, I believe it's over 200,000 followers
Wow.
on some of her social media accounts. So it happened just out of fun. And she would just post and it would just get a lot of engagement. She's pretty creative that way. And when she was in college, senior year, she didn't have a job. She had creativity, and I knew she was not the corporate type. She needs to be, have an outlet and use her creativity. So I suggested to her that she just get her license, just get it, just to have it, look for other jobs if you want, but just come and join me on the team. And that's what she did last summer, got her real estate license, and it's just been taking off because she's leveraging it into her social media. And it's a whole new way of doing real estate that I haven't tapped into because it's just not my generation. But she's getting a lot of clients. She has a buyer questionnaire out there and many people fill it out on a regular basis. I never thought it would take off that way, but it has. So it's a great way for her to bring that into our team and our business model. 75% of my business is referrals and previous clients. So I haven't had a need to tap into the social media aspect of it. So
Yeah, well, I think it's fantastic. A lot of real estate agents, number one, either may have started their career before social media was really the major content vehicle.
mhm,
And number two, you're busy, right? You're
mhm.
out showing houses, you're closing deals. And so I have some friends who are real estate agents, and they're like, John, I don't have a great social media presence, number one, because I don't have time. Number two, I'm not sure if I would know what to do if I did have the time. And so I think that's fantastic that just the younger generation with this expertise, you just grow up
Mhm.
doing videos on social media, and now that's assisting your real estate business.
It definitely helps because it gives me that extra added service that I couldn't provide before.
Hmm.
And these videos go out to, I mean, it's out there to everybody. I could target areas outside of Delaware. And, we get people calling in a lot on her videos all the time. And even if I don't have a listing for her to do, she'll go out and do them for other agents' listings. Of course, you give them credit as a listing agent, but they come in through these videos. We had somebody come in on one that was listed for a couple weeks, and this buyer called and said he never saw it before. He had an agent, and he just never saw this until he saw it on Instagram through her video, and he ended up buying the property. So
Wow,
it's definitely effective. It works. She has agents reach out to her all the time to do videos for them.
that's
So
fantastic. And that's one part of your team. And I know a big part of what you credit for your success is the power of teamwork. Share with us a little bit more about the great team that you have helped to pull together.
So our team works. We all work with our clients individually. We're just there to help each other out and to cover when needed. So my team is pretty well established. I've had a team in place since 2016. Two of my agents have been on the team. Well, maybe now three. Two of my agents have been here over 10 years, and then someone else has been here closer to like 7 years. And then I just added my daughter on the team. So we're pretty cohesive. We have a good synergy. We work together. If you work with one of us, you're not passed off to somebody else midway through or once you go under contract. If I'm working with you, you're with me start to finish. And you may interact with my team if I'm not available to show a house last minute and you need to get in, and we try to get everybody in as quickly as possible just because the market's so fast paced right now. So you might meet a team member that way. So that's typically how we run the team.
Great. So,
So
a number of real estate agents who will be listening and watching this episode are thinking, they're probably in that solopreneurship mode, right? Where they're doing everything on their own, and but based on demand, based on bandwidth, there's a need to grow a team and to build a team. Share a little bit about what you have learned successfully building a team.
Well, I have experience. I was a sales manager in my previous career. So I managed sales people and I had a team. So I think that helped with knowing what to do just from my training and background. But I think it's all about education, making sure everybody knows what they're doing, being available for questions. Every time I have an experience, I send it out to them on a group chat, like, hey, this just happened to me. And I'm still learning every day. I mean, things happen in these transactions that you just can't predict. So we have a lot of banter back and forth on all of the things that happens, and we discuss it and how to make it better the next time and just anticipate things that could go wrong. So anything my team does is I'm responsible. So I take it very seriously and make sure that they know what they're doing. And they've been great. My team is pretty self-sufficient, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
If they have an issue, they'll call me and we work it out and we figure out the best way to get through it. So, that is very important. I think it's the education, making sure they go to all the training sessions. We do a lot of, podcasts. Just make sure they're educated on the business.
Absolutely. And so, one of the most important hires, or arguably the most important hire somebody makes, is their first one, right? So, can you guide me through a little bit of the process if you're building out a team? So, you're a solo real estate agent. Who do you recommend? What role do you recommend being that first hire?
If, a buyer's agent, usually, so most of the agents on my team have come they've been an independent agent already. So they understand the business and what it's like to build your business. So they've already done they've done a couple of transactions under their belt already before they come on. And then I guide them through the rest of it and working on the team and what my expectations are. So the advantage for them to be on the team is I do a lot of the marketing. I hold the website. And then they have the whole they have a team supporting them behind the scenes. So a lot of times it could be lonely working as a solo agent. So it helps to be able to bounce things off of other people and to have a team leader to guide you through. There are lots of questions and, legal documents that you're doing. And I mean, you're wearing so many hats in this business. You're dealing with contractors, agreements, accounting questions, and and also dealing with people. So there's a lot to run through and have questions about while you're working through a transaction.
There certainly is. And in today's digital world, there's a lack of face-to-face
Mm-hmm.
interaction, right? Share the importance as an agent of face-to-face interaction and also the education with your clients.
Yeah. So whenever we have a new buyer, we have a whole buyer consultation. We don't just show up at the house that they want to see and just show it to them. We really stress having them come in and going over the whole process, start to finish, so they understand everything as they're going through, because there is a lot to know, and it's the most important purchase of their lives. So we want to make sure they know what to expect as we go through the process. So that's one thing we definitely do. So we get to really meet them in person before we start, so we could build that relationship with them. So that's very important. And as a sales manager in my previous career, I was trained before the digital world that when, somebody calls you or contacts you, even if you can't get to them at that minute, just at least reach out and say, I'm at an appointment right now. I received your message. I'll be in touch later today, just to let them know you got the message and you're not ignoring them, and that you'll be reaching out shortly, or give them a time frame. So that's always really important, and it goes a long way. And I think our clients really appreciate that. We are available for our clients more than, I get calls and text messages at 6 a.m. till sometimes 11 p.m. at night, but that's just me. Like, I am always available for my clients, and they know that. So, I don't really shut it off. I'm always available. My team members are as well, because they're texting me saying, I just got this message. So I know we provide that type of service. And whenever there is a situation where you get some bad news, sometimes maybe you have a seller and a listing, and then you get a call that the buyer wants to back out. That's not something I text or I message them. I call.
Yeah.
Or the house didn't appraise. It's a phone call. There are times when there is a need to have that face-to-face or phone conversation. So, and I've gotten calls and text messages from other agents, and I appreciate it if they would have called rather than just text something like that, because it's important news. So
Absolutely. That personal touch is more rare all the time. And so a great
Mhm.
way to differentiate yourself as an agent and to, build that relationship and that comfort with the client is simply as easy as taking the time to see them in person, or rather than the text that we're so well accustomed to, picking up the phone and hearing another person's voice, right?
Right. Yep. And
Well,
they get to know you better. I think it's just an overall better process. They feel more appreciated. They feel like you really worked for them, and um, you just get to know them better and know you can't get with a text message. You don't really get the feeling in the
mhm.
message. You have to
Yeah.
talk to somebody to see how they feel.
That's exactly right. Well, I'm going to get right into some more lessons that you've learned throughout your career. But first, let's listen to a message from our sponsor, Sphere Rocket.
Business owners and entrepreneurs will place a proven executive assistant VA for just $4 to $8 an hour, and if they don't perform, you don't pay. Imagine freeing up 20 plus hours a week by someone handling your most time consuming tasks like admin work, managing emails, scheduling meetings, and so much more. This one hire could transform your productivity and give you back the time you need to focus on growing your business. At Sphere Rocket VA, we make this possible in as little as 7 days. We'll place a proven executive assistant VA in your business for just $4 to $8 an hour, and your VA will take over day-to-day administrative tasks, help manage your email and calendar, follow up with past clients, giving you back 20 plus hours a week so you can increase your sales and even enjoy more personal time. And here's the best part. If they don't give you back 20 plus hours a week in the first month, you don't pay Sphere Rocket a dime. We've done this for thousands of business owners, and now it's your turn to see the results. Click the link around this video to schedule a demo and discover how this one hire can completely change how you run your business. Remember, if within 45 days the VA doesn't perform, you don't pay.
All right, we are here with Peggy Centrella, and she specializes in helping home buyers find homes in Pennsylvania and in northern Delaware. And we're learning all about the lessons she's learned throughout her career. Peggy, you stated earlier that you had a corporate job, you're a sales team leader, and then you later came into the real estate industry and kind of to recreate yourself. I would imagine step into a new industry. For those listening who are in a corporate career and are contemplating, hey, maybe I should step into real estate, take us through some of that process of how you did this successfully.
Yeah. So it, with this career, it's not something that happens overnight. So you have to have persistence, and you have to give yourself that time, because I've had other agents come to me, newer agents, and they're just at that point where they say, I don't know if I should just stop now, or what do I do? And I always say it takes 3 years. Like, do not make that decision until the third year. You have to budget for the cost of running this business for at least 3 years, and see where you are at that point. I always looked at it as a job where I came in every single day and did something for my business, whether it was phone duty, whether it was sending out emails, written notes to my sphere of influence, or doing social media posts, previewing houses. You can't just not do real estate for a couple days a week and then think something's just going to come to you. You got to go out and try to find it.
Right.
So I felt like just by being in it every day and in the office, and I helped other agents show houses for them, and I got to know the process, or I shadowed people. That's what you need to do when you're starting out. So that's very important. It's not a part-time job. And if you have another job and you want to do this part-time, it's very hard. I think it's a full-time commitment to be successful to the level of where you have it as a full-time career.
Yeah.
Financially. So that's my lesson to people. You have to be there. You have to show up. You have to do open houses. You have to organically grow the business as well as digitally, which a lot of people do now.
Right.
So it can be rewarding that way.
And so those in the corporate career, so with a corporate job, you do have to show up every day. right? Now, we have a lot of remote jobs, I suppose, nowadays, but
Hmm.
there are certain hours you have to show up. So if I'm thinking about transitioning over to real estate, okay, I'm showing up, but also there's no dedicated work hours, right? And there's also no ceiling on your potential. So it's kind of a put in what you get out. What was the biggest, going from the corporate life to the real estate life, what was the biggest change that you experienced?
I think you always feel like you have to report to somebody and you're really your own boss. And I kind of, my husband had to keep reminding me of that. Like, you don't work for anybody else. You work for you. So don't worry. I mean, it gives you flexibility. You can just go on vacation, but you're not getting paid. But now I go on vacation and I somehow manage to still, every time I go away, something happens where I just get really busy all of a sudden while I'm away, but it's
Of
hard to turn
course.
it off. So, I think it's that mentality, like just knowing like you're in there for corporate, you have to be there at a certain time, you leave at a certain time. When I did corporate, it isn't like it is today. I mean, I got out of corporate in 2001. So there was
Hmm.
no such thing as remote working. You were
Right.
kind of on when you were there and you didn't get, you couldn't do anything else during the day except your job. So I think it was that whole idea that you have a broker, but your broker works for you, is there for you more than you're not reporting to them. Um,
Hmm.
so it's your own business. It really is. You're 100% building your own brand, your own business, which makes it completely different from corporate.
Yeah, I had my own consulting business for 6 years, and my brother is an entrepreneur as well. And when I started my business, I said, John, I've got good news and bad news for you. The good news is you can't get fired. The bad news is you probably should be. So that's uh, that's something that I always
Yeah.
kept with me. But so having done this successfully for a period of time now, so as your own boss, you're making your own schedule, right? What is the schedule that you have created for yourself that you follow that has enabled you to be successful in real estate?
And I am not a schedule person. I don't spend a lot of time in the office.
Hmm.
And I that just comes from my training when I first started in sales. It was frowned upon if you were in the office because you're not making connections and networking.
Yeah.
So I tend to, at one point I did have a real estate partner and it was that she liked to be in the office 9 to 5. She scheduled her time. She would go on an appointment and come right back to the office. I don't do that. I kind of stay out.
Hmm.
Even if I go to the gym, I'm more likely to pick up a client or see a neighbor or see somebody I know that, and everybody always asks me about real estate. So it's beneficial for me to be out, to
Yeah.
attend networking events or just go to the grocery store. I mean, I see parents from school and I've picked up listings that way. So um, it's a very social career, which I like in that respect, because even if you go out at night to a restaurant, you see people and you get introduced to people, and it kind of goes from there.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
think that's a great reminder of, structure your job activities, your schedule around what makes you successful for the business. Because, some people, like you said, are going to make that mistake of like, okay, I'm my own boss, and so as my own boss, I'm going to be in the office.
mhm.
Okay, I used to do business development for a production company, and my boss, I worked remote, so I would fly to LA, and of course would love, being in the San Fernando Valley. And I remember going into the office one day, and my boss, I said to him, I said, Jens, I love coming to the office, seeing the team. And he is very German. He said, John, when you are in the office, you are not with the customer. And that's exactly what it sounds like,
It's
by the way.
true.
But that's a great point is, don't limit your work to, or the viewpoint of your work of, I've got to be in an office. View your work, your viewpoint of your work is, where am I making the biggest impact? And that's really cool to hear that, hey, at the grocery store, at the gym, you can be making those connections or reinforcing those connections that may result in selling a house.
Yeah, you have to be where the people are. So, and then my job, like I work sometimes till 11 o'clock at night. I sometimes fall asleep with my laptop in bed. So like during the day, it may be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't have anything going on because I'm showing houses later that night. So it's kind of reprogramming your schedule to meet. Each day is different.
Yeah.
I might get called by an appraiser to go meet me. They're going to do an appraisal on a listing. I have to go run and meet them. And that wasn't expected that day. So I'm always kind of ready to go. But when I have those breaks, I need to do my personal stuff. And it may be in the middle of the day.
Right.
My nights and weekends tend to be a little busier with work. Although, in the morning, I do a lot of my office work. But there pretty much every day I'm doing something for real estate. So it's just your schedule is never set, which I like that. That could drive some people crazy. It just depends on your personality. It works for me. So.
Well, and one thing too, that there's a lot of errands that have to be done during the week, during the day,
Mhm.
right? And so whether it's a doctor's appointment or whether it's, I don't know, you're want to mail something to somebody or you got to do this or that, real estate is a
Amazon
pretty
returns, stuff
yeah.
like that. I always have them in my car because I'm always driving around and I could drop them off at any time. But yeah, it's flexible and you can make your own schedule. And some people do it that way, but I tend to just take each day and fit in when I need to do when I know I can do it.
Yeah.
Because I never know what's going to happen the next day, whether I'm going to have time to get it done. It just makes me more productive that way.
Yeah, well, a flexible schedule is certainly a benefit of real estate. But another I'd love you to share on is the positive impact that you have on people's lives and the joy that you see when you help someone find that perfect house.
That's the best part of the job. I mean, and a lot of times you see that on social media. You'll see the settlement day and them getting the keys and at the house, which is always worth celebrating because it's the best. Not only that we got to the finish line, it's just the idea that somebody is getting their dream home. And even better than that is after settlement, when I get a call or a text months later, weeks later, saying how much they love their home. Like that means so much to me when they reach back out and say how much they've done to the house or how they've met the neighbors and they just love the area or things they're doing with the house. So it's very rewarding. It makes it all worth it in the end. So, and if I get vice versa, if they call and they're not happy, it makes me that makes me unhappy. So I just want a positive experience for everybody.
Give me one key to helping a customer find their perfect house.
I know I've been in this area for my whole life, so I know the area very well. And I just had clients come from Massachusetts. So they came from a completely different area. It was a job relocation. And you just kind of, when they sent me a specific property that we were going to go tour, I just kind of knew it was their vibe. I knew they were going to like it. And sure enough, they loved it. They put in a really great offer. It just happened this weekend. And we got the house. And then the person that referred them emailed me last night and said, I just talked to them. They are ecstatic. They're over the moon. They are so excited they're moving into this house. It's exactly what they wanted. And I knew it. I just knew that was the one. So
Amazing.
I think it's kind of getting to know your clients and really asking them the right questions and seeing, exactly what they're looking for. It is very important.
Yeah, that market knowledge, but then also taking the time and really listening and finding out, what are you actually looking for? What is your lifestyle? What would be a fit? And then matching those things together. It sounds like that's something that you do very, very well.
I always ask where they're coming from, what they liked about where they were, where they live now, or what they would like differently, what they want for the new house. These people specifically said they wanted walkability. They wanted to be able to walk to go get dinner. They wanted they wanted to be able to go to the park and not have to get in their cars.
Yeah.
So that's what we focused on, and we found, and the house itself worked for them.
Yeah.
For their needs.
Well, that's a perfect example, and I think those listening, can understand what makes you a great real estate agent and how much you care about your clients and the ability to deliver for them. So, for those listening who are, looking at Northern Delaware, looking at Pennsylvania, and thinking, hey, I need a great real estate agent to help me find the perfect home. Peggy, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, I'm on all the social media channels, so you can DM me there and send me a message. Google my name. I will definitely come up. Go. A lot of people come through my website. So all of those different ways they can contact me, or if even on my cell phone is my direct number, the best number to reach me. So people call me all the time. I get calls every day from people looking for a real estate agent. So that is the best way to reach me.
Fantastic. Well, Peggy, thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate learning all the lessons that you have learned through your experience in real estate, and appreciate you sharing this today on the Leverage Podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. I look forward to talking to anybody that is looking for a real estate agent. So
fantastic. Thank you.
That would be great. Okay, thank you. Bye.